In episode 3, I want to dig a little deeper into a topic that has fascinated me my entire life. How do we choose what we choose? And why do we choose it? And if we're so in control of our choices, then why is it that we make so many bad choices? With our friendships, relationships, how we spend our time, which opportunities we let slip, and which we pursue. Hello, I'm Robert, and welcome to episode 3 of I'm Okay. If you missed the first 2 episodes, the intro to why we started this podcast and how to manage conflicts in relationships, be sure to go back and check them out. I think this goes beyond determination and free will. I believe we're free to choose as we wish, but that factors sometimes beyond our understanding nudge and skew our perspective, so much so that we are consistently acting outside our better judgment and best interests. So let's dig into it. Have you read self-help books? If you're listening to this podcast, you've likely got a deep curiosity about your own mind, trying to reframe or untangle experiences. You may wonder after leaving a toxic relationship, how did I not see then what I see now? So let's dig into it. Have you read self-help books? Well, if you're listening to this podcast, I'm assuming you have, and you've likely got a deep curiosity about your own mind or trying to reframe or untangle experiences. You may wonder after leaving a toxic relationship, how did I not see then what I see now? You may think after passing a big opportunity your friend seized, how did I not see the potential that everyone else saw? So if you've read 4 or 5 books on having healthy relationships and they're good books, why don't you have healthy relationships? If you've read 500 articles about productivity and time management, then why is it that you still have days on end where nothing gets done? You know the harmful effects of sugar, of processed foods, but you still eat them. It isn't that you're forgetting what you've learned, it's just that what you're learning isn't as powerful as what you'd have to unlearn for it to matter. I believe the more we understand about how we operate, the greater our chances are of making better decisions in the future. We'll differentiate between and make reference to the conscious and subconscious mind, thinking, and recordings frequently in this podcast. So let's define where we draw the line and how the 2 areas of our mind operate. Subconscious thinking dictates roughly 95% of our actions on a day-to-day basis. It may or may not be why we become angry, excited, or nervous. It might be why we choose one type of person over another, why we value some things instead of others, and why we consistently have one type of relationship instead of another type of relationship. This is the mind being efficient. You don't think about walking. You likely don't think about looking before you cross the street. You don't think when someone says, "Thank you," and you offer a polite "You're welcome." You don't know why spiders terrify you, nor why you tend to procrastinate before big exams. All you know is that if you have a big exam, you can't quite manage to pick up a textbook until the night before. As your conscious mind screams at you, "Study, you lunatic, it's just 2 weeks away." Something inside the subconscious mind says, "Stop, you're fine, don't." It's why your arms and legs are flushed with blood when a hooded stranger walks past you at 9 p.m., but also why nothing happens when the same stranger does so at 9 a.m. The good news is, regardless of what you've been told about the ideas that wired in childhood, or how hard they are to unwire in adulthood, change is always possible. Our subconscious minds are meant to do 2 critical things: keep us alive and keep us efficient. When we aspire for anything greater than this, such as goal setting, mapping out our future, bettering our health, we must hand control to the conscious mind. Our conscious mind is making decisions in the now. The subconscious is drawing on a lifetime of experience. Dave wants to invest in his friend's business. The conscious mind says, "Your friend's idea is great. Your friend is capable. He's honest and succeeds at almost everything he does." But your subconscious mind does not agree. There was that story about the guy who went from millionaire to broke in a single day on a failed investment. There's your mother telling you, if it sounds too good to be true, it is. And then, of course, there's your teacher 15 years ago who once told you that all capitalists were evil and that all entrepreneurs were fools. You're probably not going to invest. I remember a recent podcast with Jay Shetty when he recalled how his parents always touted this belief of having just enough. Growing up, he wanted to have just enough, and he wanted to earn just enough, until he caught himself and asked the golden question: if I want to create abundance in the world, can I do it with just enough? If you want to feed a village, you need more than just enough for yourself. And I'm sure that challenging his subconscious beliefs, Jay faced some serious obstacles, like the big money is the root of all evil, commonly said, commonly misunderstood. So we need to change that subconscious thought that says money is the root of all evil, and say, perhaps instead, that money is the great amplifier, which is probably more factually correct. Whatever you are, more money will make you more that way. If you're a dick, richer you, bigger dick. If you're generous and kind, well, more money means more generosity and kindness. But there's no point in spinning the wheels here. Consciously planning out your goal to make $1 million next year if subconsciously you believe that money is the root of all evil is going to be harder than it needs to be. This is friction. This is internal conflict and contradiction. So we need to retrain our subconscious mind on our core values and our core beliefs. We need to examine each one of them and ask, does this serve me today? With what I know now, do old patterns and old habits still serve me? Here are some examples of subconscious beliefs. People are generally good. Things usually turn out okay. I'm a capable person. Others usually like me. When I work hard, I usually get good results. I believe I'm creating my reality. My friendships are my responsibility. People who are different from me are neither better nor worse, just different. Now, if you subconsciously believe all of these things to be true, bravo, you're probably living an amazing life. But if you hold limiting subconscious beliefs that lead you to feel more like a passive participant in your own existence, someone to whom things just sort of happen without control, someone with cursed luck, then frankly, happiness likely eludes you. We need to become aware of our subconscious loops. Why are we angry? Why are we spinning? Why are we always choosing to date one type of person over another? Why are we scared of commitment? Why do we get angry in traffic at 8 a.m.? Why do we prefer to watch the same movie 10 times instead of watching a new movie? We're making these decisions on autopilot, and they're so often bad decisions. Let's say on a subconscious level, I'm drawn to people who need my help. I'm a bleeding heart empath turned liberal. I want to help everyone. And that's how I subconsciously choose my mates as well. If they need me, I trust them. If they don't, I don't trust them. This is dangerous, but let's see how it carries out. So I meet someone who needs me. They're in crisis. Their ex just smashed their window, so I feel needed, and I jump in. Months later, the ex is gone. Things are happy, but we get tripped up and we get flustered. We're getting bored. This was supposed to be the good part. We have a fight. It blows up. Huge crisis. We talk. We're good for a week. Now again, stagnation, another fight. The same pattern, the same unhealthy response. What have I done? I've primed my partner. I've defined our relationship in my own subconscious desire for someone in need or conflict. Because when things are good, I'm mentally checked out. So I'm telling my partner, hey, Becca, Jess, whatever, if you want my attention, flame out. Create a crisis, cry, threaten to leave. If you don't, I'm not paying attention. And she learns. And we hurt each other, needlessly. Because why? Because somewhere deep down, people who need me are familiar. People who have issues feel safe. The people who don't have issues are foreign. They're masking their issues, right? You can't trust the straight down the middle person who's never had a drug addiction or never been in a toxic, abusive relationship. She's got skeletons. More so, she'll judge you. So that's 2 checks for our subconscious mind that the person who has their shit together is actually dangerous. They may be harboring deep secrets. And they may very well ridicule us for our flaws. So we avoid healthy people. And believe me, they avoid us too. But how do we get these ideas? And how do they get so deep? Try this on for size. Don't talk to strangers. This is advice we all received as children. And we followed it. And we kept following it. And we stayed alive. And we didn't talk to a stranger. And we didn't get kidnapped. And we didn't talk to strangers. And we didn't get poisoned and raped. And we did this for so long. And it kept us safe for so long. But now we're 25. And it's a work networking social. And there's a person who is super interesting across the room, and our legs won't move. We don't know why. We say we're shy. Uh-oh. People who are shy most definitely do not approach strangers. So this is more or less doubling down on the subconscious pattern. And we don't approach. We avoid it. We don't know why our hands are clammy. We don't know why we were nervous. But we know this. We didn't make a move and we didn't experience pain or humiliation. Nothing great happened, but nothing bad happened either. We didn't start a new business and we didn't lose our life savings. We didn't demand the promotion and we didn't get fired. We didn't join the gym, but we also didn't injure ourselves. We didn't confront the person who offended us and we didn't get punched in the face. We didn't ask out the beautiful girl and we didn't get rejected. And the more we avoid the things that scare us, the more we stay safe, the more we wire a very dangerous pattern that avoiding the things that scare us is keeping us alive, when in fact, it's slowly killing us. Logically, we only see one side of the story. We don't know how much better our lives could have been had we chosen to do the scary things. We need to change our wires. This is a signal and noise problem. This is a fire together, wire together problem. We survived abusive relationships, but that doesn't make them healthy or something to strive for. We fear the unknown. Too many questions, too many variables. The cost of doing something that scares us might be pain, but we need to re-examine the cost of doing nothing. Going left and right are not the only options. Standing in one place is also a decision, and sometimes it's the right thing to do, but so often it isn't. And these choices we make or don't make are constantly informing us and forming new patterns in our brains. As we slay and conquer difficult and scary tasks, we build up our self-esteem. This starts small, and we should start small. No one learns to swim for the first time in the deep end. And yet it's simple, logically. We are shy. Shy people don't talk to strangers. Strangers are dangerous. This person is a stranger. Ergo, danger. Don't do it. But so many times, we must retrain our brains to have a more nuanced and balanced pattern. Context is important, and I cannot suggest one solid way to cure it. But what I can say is this. As we begin to chisel away at those mental roadblocks and do things that we find terrifying, we start to change our concept of self. When I was young, we were quite poor. We got poor people ice cream, your Chapman's, your Breyers, whatever. Those pricey small Ben & Jerry's and Haagen-Dazs tubs were never in my home. My wealthier friends certainly had them, and as an adult, I've long viewed having Haagen-Dazs in my freezer as a sign that I wasn't poor. I realize for some people it's designer shoes or suits, and for others it's having a Benz or a cool sports car. It's just a cooling thought that I'm okay. I used to eat a tub of Haagen-Dazs in a single sitting. I tried for years to curb my sweet tooth to no avail. At best, I convinced myself that I shouldn't have ice cream, or that I couldn't. I knew that it was bad for me in excess, but ice cream was still something I'd turn to as a reward. A hard day warranted some. A job well done warranted some. And as it continued to ruin my teeth and rot my brain, not to mention damage my health, I continued to view it as a good thing I wasn't allowed to have. Because as a child, ice cream was the reward. Spinach and lettuce were the obligation. Finish your vegetables if you want dessert. Finish your homework if you want dessert. So many people are wired to believe that sugar is a reward. So when the barriers to rewards, like parents or money, are removed, you naturally overindulge. Today, I don't buy ice cream. I haven't bought it for 5 months, and I don't plan to have it in my home. And if I have children someday, they won't either. It's a rare change of pace in the summer or a social outing, but I don't view it as a reward anymore. When I walk past the Haagen-Dazs on sale now, something inside me says, "You deserve better." And I walk my butt to the fruit section. I believe we can change our subconscious loops. The subconscious belief that I needed to change was how I viewed my body, and how I viewed myself. I now see my mind and body as a very clean place. I don't allow bad things in, nor do I surround myself with toxic energies. And it always comes back to that central belief that I deserve better. And as awkward as this is, it's something that I find myself repeating 10 times every day. And it's allowed me to walk away from toxic people, bad habits, and confront situations with a lot more conviction. I believe that very few of us get exactly what we want in life, and that even fewer get it how they wanted to get it. Life is very long and unpredictable. But if I've found one thing in my journey towards higher understanding over these past 9 months, it's this. Most of us will never get what we want in life, but almost all of us will get what we're willing to settle for. We don't get what we want because most of us want to thrive. And we're working with a mind that is 95% consumed with helping us survive. If we want to thrive, if we want something beyond mere subsistence and getting by, we have to face tough questions, make tough choices, and many times a day, we have to bypass our subconscious mind and truly embrace doing things that terrify us. I know that in time, taking on and facing small, scary tasks will make facing the larger, considerably scarier tasks a little less daunting. It won't happen overnight. This isn't a quick fix. As most things worth striving for in life, it will happen one hack, one brick, 1 minute at a time. One of my favorite quotes comes from a 30 for 30 documentary about Scott Hall. He said that this was advice that his father gave him, and very similar words were echoed later by Denzel Washington in a commencement speech. The quote was, "You're going to fall in life, so try to fall forward." And it stuck with me for many years. Thank you for listening to I'm Okay. I hope you enjoyed this podcast. Please leave us a like and share this podcast with anyone you think needs to hear it. I wish you so much luck in building a more beautiful life for yourself. Take a chance, bet on yourself. I promise you, falling on your face isn't as scary as it seems.